A long time ago, in the land of Canaan, there lived a man named Isaac and his wife, Rebekah. They had waited a long time to have children. And finally, one day, Rebekah became pregnant with not just one baby, but twins. But even before they were born, something strange was happening. The babies seemed to struggle inside her. So Rebekah prayed and asked God what was going on. And God answered her, "2 nations are in your womb. The older will serve the younger." His was surprising. In those days, the oldest son was always first in line for everything: honor, inheritance, blessing. But God had something different in mind. When the twins were born, the first one came out red and hairy. They named him Esau. Then the second baby came out, holding on to Esau's heel. They named him Jacob, which means heel grabber, or one who takes the place of another. As the boys grew, they couldn't have been more different. Esau was an outdoorsman. He loved to hunt and spend time in the fields. He was strong, rugged, and his father's favorite. Jacob was quieter. He liked staying close to home, helping in the tents, and cooking. He was clever, and he was his mother's favorite. One day, Esau came home absolutely starving. And there was Jacob, cooking a delicious stew. Esau said, "Give me some of that red stew. I'm dying of hunger." Jacob looked at him and said, "Sure, but only if you sell me your birthright." Now, the birthright was a big deal. It meant the firstborn son would inherit the family's wealth and become the leader of the family when the father died. Esau was so hungry he didn't even think. He said, "Fine, what good is a birthright if I die of hunger?" So Jacob gave him the stew, and just like that, Esau gave up something priceless for a bowl of soup. Years passed. Isaac grew old and blind. He called for Esau and said, "My son, I'm getting close to death. Go hunt and prepare my favorite meal. Then I will give you my blessing before I die." Now, the blessing was just as important as the birthright. It was like passing on God's promise and favor to the next generation. Rebekah overheard this. She remembered what God had said long ago. The older will serve the younger. So she came up with a plan. She told Jacob, "Dress up like Esau, put on his clothes. I'll cook a meal just like your father likes. Go in and pretend to be him, so you can get the blessing." Jacob was nervous, "But Esau's hairy and I'm not. What if he touches me and finds out I'm lying?" Rebekah said, "Let the blame fall on me. Just do what I say." So Jacob dressed in Esau's clothes. He put goat skins on his hands and neck to feel hairy. Then he went into his father's tent. Isaac was suspicious. "You sound like Jacob." "But are you really Esau?" Jacob lied. "Yes, I am Esau." Isaac felt his hands, smelled his clothes, and finally, he gave Jacob the blessing meant for Esau, a blessing of abundance, power, and promise. Moments later, Esau came back from hunting with the real meal. He entered the tent and said, "Father, I'm here." Isaac trembled. Who was just here?" And in that moment, they both realized the truth. Jacob had tricked them. Esau was heartbroken and furious. He cried, "Father, don't you have a blessing for me too?" Isaac gave him a lesser blessing, but the main blessing, the one with the promise, was already spoken. And it couldn't be undone. Esau was so angry, he said in his heart, "When my father dies, I will kill Jacob." Rebekah heard Esau's plan and warned Jacob, "Run away to my brother's house far away. Stay there until Esau calms down." So Jacob left his home. He was alone, on the run, with nothing but his walking stick and the blessing he stole. That night, Jacob lay down to sleep with a stone for a pillow. And he had a dream. He saw a staircase stretching from earth to heaven, with angels going up and down. At the top was God. And God said, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you this land. I will bless you. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go." Jacob woke up amazed. He said, "Surely God is in this place." Years passed. Jacob married, had children, and grew wealthy. But he never forgot Esau. And one day, God told him to go back home. Jacob was scared. Esau might still want to kill him. So he sent gifts ahead: animals, servants, peace offerings. Then, as they came face to face, something unexpected happened. Esau ran toward Jacob, not with a sword, but with open arms. He hugged him. He wept. The two brothers were finally reunited. Forgiveness had won over anger. Jacob and Esau's story is messy. It's filled with mistakes, lies, fear, and broken relationships. But it's also a story of second chances, of how God can work through imperfect people, of how forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds. It reminds us, sometimes we mess up, sometimes we hurt others, or get hurt. But with time, humility, and grace, healing is possible. And God never gives up on His promises, even when we take the long, complicated road. Thanks for listening.